ready for today and to talk about all the things that we have to talk about. I I am not sure that how people are going to respond to today, but that's okay. I don't know that I'm ever really sure, but we're going to talk about it today nonetheless, right? Good morning, Rod. How are you? What's up, Katzmandu? Aline, good to see you. Good morning, David. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hey, Conchita. Hey. Good to see you. What's up, Lynn? Hello, Chris. How are you guys? Y'all doing all right this Tuesday morning? Oh, you love hard conversations with me? Yeah, this is gonna be one of those. What's up, Yassine? Hey, Farah. Hey, Jen. Is the president of Freemason? I think you're trying to ask me, is the president a Freemason? And my response is, I do not know. Hey, Lanny. I can't imagine that he is, but I don't think so. What's up, Red Hot? Hey, Carla. Hey, Nisi. Good morning. Hello, Lanny. What's up, Penny GF? Glad to see you. Hey, Ada. Glad to see everybody popping in here. What's up? Hi. What's up? Who said, oh, okay. Hey, and Jerry. I thought you said, oh, Danny. And I was like, what? What did I do already? Listen, folks, if you are watching me from anywhere other than the TikTok, you got to say hello or I will not be able to see you and greet you. Good morning, Gloria. Good morning, Ronald. If you are joining me from the Substack, restream at Substack, do not share comments. So I would love to be able to speak back to you on Substack, but I can't. And thank you, Farah. And if I go live directly on Substack, I can't share my screen and all those kinds of things. So we're just stuck right here for now. What's up, Sunflower Fish? Good morning, Sandy. What's up, Carla? Hey, Christine. Hey, Veronica. Glad to see everybody. Hey, TFJ. What's up, Tech Lady? Hey, Taylor, Christine, Cheryl. Good to see you. So, yeah, we got a lot to do. We got a lot to do today, guys. Hey, Gloria. What's up? I think I said Gloria and Ronald already, but if I didn't, I've greeted you now. Glad to see folks tuning in on the Book of Faces and the Tube of You. Yeah, it's a lot. Good morning, Daruka. It's a lot today, right? Who you trying to save this morning? Who's savable? Good morning, Witch. Good morning, Packard. Who am I trying to save this morning? Am I trying to save people? I don't know that I'm trying to save people. Maybe. Maybe. Yeah. So good morning, folks. Right, Tara. Good morning, Melinda. Or convert. Yeah, I don't try to convert people either, I don't think. I think I have conversations with people, and some people, after those conversations and facts, convert themselves. Good morning, Maria. Hey, Cam. Hey, Celia. Listen, I'm not a missionary. I'm not trying to convert people. I am not a Jehovah's Witness. I am not knocking on your door. If you come up in this space, it's because you choose to be here, beloved. Right? That's not me. Good morning, Brandy. Good morning, Mel Gray. Good morning, Mary Owens. Right, Christine. There you go. Yeah, so I am ready to dive in. Sometimes you think I'm too detailed. I don't know that there is such a thing. Oh, thanks, world. I appreciate that. I don't know that there is such a thing as too detailed, especially when we're talking about the subject matter that we're talking about here. Good morning, K Mac. What's up, 2409? Hello, M Tom. Good to see you. Yeah. So, well, yeah, but I don't. The Supreme Court isn't the greatest threat because, and the reason why I say that is because the Supreme Court can't hurt us if the court cases don't make it there, right? So if we didn't have an administration, if we didn't have a Congress, if we didn't have a cabinet, if we didn't have those people putting forth cases to make it to the Supreme Court, then the justices would really not be able to do too much harm right now. Yeah. So Bonnie, if you think that I know he does not have immunity, and it's important that people understand that. Bonnie, if you think that I need a reality check, by all means, come to the panel and give me one, right? That this is what I'm going to offer to you, Bonnie. So there is a spot available right there for you. You can just click that little grayed out box. There's a sticker for that, Veronica. There's a sticker for that, Veronica. But Bonnie, yeah, you can absolutely come up here and see. Christine found it. Cam found it. Good morning, Alice. I gave them a DDS sticker. So y'all know people come in here with Dani derangement syndrome. And so I created a sticker for them. So on TikTok, they have stickers that they get to use. And so they've been asking for a Dani derangement sticker. And so I made one for them today. Yeah, just saying, Conchita. I do what I can. I know. Still, let's not bully someone for having a different view. Michelle, share with me how I bullied anyone. I don't believe inviting someone to the panel is bullying. I think that that's actually pretty welcoming, right? I don't think that anyone has been bullied, right? Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, that's actually something that we don't do in this space. So if you're not aware, if you are new to my space, let me go ahead and give you the kind of the guidelines for how I operate here. Okay. So I ask for 4 things in my space. I ask for you to be respectful. Do not use slurs of any kind. Do not spam my comments by saying the same thing over and over again. And do not type in all caps, because those are reserved for my moderators and my folks that are vision impaired. And as long as you can do those 4 things, Salam Abdul, we will get along just fine, right? We will get along just fine. So, right, Carla. Yeah, it's just wild. Not sure where you are going with the slow moving judiciary. I was responding to a comment that someone said in the chat. Yeah. So when we were talking about the Supreme Court, I was responding to something that someone said in the chat. Hey, Kay Rena. I mean, the prompt is pretty clear. So what I do in this space, oftentimes, hey, Ronnie, good morning, Hussein. Good morning, Mary Owens. So what I do in this space, buenos dias, Patricia. Oh, thanks, Rob. Appreciate that. So what I do in this space is I talk about, kind of all the things that are going on in the country and around the world that impact us. I share my take on them. And I also, good morning, Chris. But I also give a lot of facts, a lot of information. I have a pretty extensive link tree that is in my bio for people to go look at. I am behind adding things to that this week, but I need to do that. And so we like to have really hard conversations sometimes. Sometimes we get, they're uncomfortable, but we stick with it and we make it happen. So that's what we do in this space. Good morning, Mac D. Appreciate you. So I'm really glad to see everybody here this morning. I do have quite a bit that we are going to cover. As you can see, the prompt is, yep, love you, mean it. As you can see, the prompt is still building on part of the conversation yesterday. So, Phantom, where the hell you been? What's up, Desi? Hey, Pin 1010, good to see you. Yeah, where has my Phantom been? Yeah, hi, Jamie. Yeah, if you would like to discuss, Don, if you would like to discuss voting and requirements, we can do that. I'm happy to have you. Don, if you would like to join the panel, you can do that. We can talk about voting. Oh, thanks, Tom. I appreciate that. Yeah. So, Don, if you want to come talk about it, then let's talk about it. What I find oftentimes happens is you'll have somebody like Don. Good morning, Letty, who will come in and say something along the lines of, you have 4 rules in your space and voting only has 1, have an ID. And actually voting doesn't have that rule, not in every state. And elections are run by the state. So different states have different guidelines and rules and regulations and laws for voting. That is the beauty of our election process. And so what I find is that normally when someone, in red states as well. No, in red states as well. Yeah, you might be surprised to find that out. But in lots of places, you do not have to have an ID to go vote because you have already registered to vote. And there's a reconciliation process on the back end that ensures that the same person doesn't vote more than once. Yeah. And to be quite clear, folks, we do not have a problem with our elections. We don't have a problem with people voting that aren't legal. We don't have a problem with people voting illegally. Matter of fact, the folks that have been caught voting more than a few times have typically been Republicans, right? We literally had a Republican legislator that just got caught for voting multiple times illegally. So it's not from immigrants. It's not from, well, Judea, come on and tell me, give me your source for that information, because I can give you mine. It is, and it's not even 0.5%. It's not even half of 1%. Oh, I got you. My source is the Heritage Foundation. I got you. Here's my source. My source is Buenos dias, Mr. Barrios. Heritage Foundation is my source. Oh, thanks. I appreciate that. So Heritage Foundation, there it is. Boop, boop, boom. Ooh wee. All right. So let me find I need the report. Give me 1 second. I don't want the article. I want the actual report itself. Give me 1 second. Whoop! No, don't do that. I think this is it. Okay. Boom. They even have a map. Oh, I hope it's interactive. I love interactive maps. I love interactive maps. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm about to laugh, and I don't mean to. I mean, that's a lie. I do mean to laugh. I do. I do mean to laugh. I'm sorry, but I really do. So spoiler alert, it's not illegal immigrants. Spoiler alert. But just for shits and giggles, I have to show you. Hold on, let me take this thing down in the background just for a second. Whoo-wee, I wasn't giggling until I saw Heritage's map, right? But let me just show you. It's actually Texas, Florida, North Carolina. Those are the ones that have had the greatest instances. You got two up here. But I'm just saying, your theory that it would be red states would be really, really wrong. It just tickles me. Like, what in the world? And those are not illegal immigrants. Those are citizens. And can we talk about, so it's a map of like this one, this particular map showed duplicate voting, right? So somebody that voted twice, and maybe somebody that voted in two separate states during the same election, right? And so it's just important for people to understand. Number one, the fact that you have the data and the fact that there is a criminal conviction tells you that the system isn't broken. The system caught it, right? So I think that this is what people need to understand, is that if you catch it, it's not broken. I just really need for people to understand that. It seems like it's almost like you don't want to use common sense. It's almost like you don't want to deal with like the actual facts. And I don't know why I am having trouble pulling up the one thing that I want. Sweet baby Jesus. Oh yeah, this is it, and it's huge, and there ain't. It's literally less than half a percent. And so what I will do is I will absolutely put this in the link tree for you guys, and you can play around with the data yourself. But hello, Macon. Oh, thanks, Regina. Good morning, Ella. Hey, Momo. Happy Wednesday, Michael. Good to see you guys. Love the fact that everybody is here. What's up, Ja? Good to see you as well. So I want to start off talking about, I'm going to do away with this box real quick because I do not want a bunch of stuff. So I know Farah and Jamie that you are up here just to boost. Neil, can you share with me what it is that you would like to talk about? Because I haven't really opened the panel yet. So Neil, could you put in the chat for me? Oh, thanks, Neil. Appreciate that. Good morning, Black Parker. Good to see you as well. So what I want to do is, because I don't want to give the wrong impression, because the panel isn't open just yet, I want to talk about those, okay? All right, so a few things that I do want to talk about today. Yep, Nini, put your blinders on. Do I need to put you in a corner already? Good morning, Adam. Good to see you. Yeah, I just did provide a source. It's the Heritage Foundation. That's it. That's the, go look it up now. I gave you the source. That's the source. Good morning, Don Juan. Yeah, so good girl, Nini. Love that. Okay, so let's talk about things. All right, so D's in here, you just cannot type in all caps. All caps are reserved for the folks that are, it does support my claim. It literally does. It's 0.0000729 something percent. There you go. That's all you got to do. Yes, there's a whole ass map. So, Dees, I explained to you that you can't type in all caps. Are you not able to hear? Here, let's just see if you get it this way. Do you know, I wonder how many people think that, so like this guy that's in here, I think it's a bot, right? But they've tried everything to get my attention, right? All different kinds of whatever. Well, no, that was according to the map, vetted vet. And I didn't say more Republicans did. I'm saying the cases. If you want to look it up, feel free to do that. Okay? Because I'm not going to argue with you. You go look it up. I told you where to go. All you got to do is type it in and Google it. Literally. Okay? It's not hard. Yeah, they are very, very, very triggered today. And it's okay for me. Let me say it this way. Da da da. I wonder if it gives me. Oh, here it is. So here's another source, which is the Brookings Institute. And I don't know if they're covering the same time period as the Heritage Foundation, but the Brookings Institute is also a great resource. And so listen, the percentage of fraudulent votes, for example, so they did. They give. This is about the heritage data. I love this. I love this. They are literally talking about the heritage data. Yay. I love this. Oh, this is so beautiful. Holy shit. I love this. So like Arizona, listen, in Arizona, the percentage of fraudulent votes over a 30-year period is 0.0000845%. Georgia, this is again the Heritage Foundation. This is Heritage's data from the voter fraud database, the one that I was just telling you about, the whole map that's interactive. So Georgia is 0.0000355%. Michigan, 0.0000294%. Nevada, 0.0000940%. North Carolina, 0.0000710%. Pennsylvania, 0.0000388%. Do y'all find, do you see the commonality there? The commonality is it's all ridiculously low. And that's based on the Heritage Foundation's own data. So these are the folks that wrote Project 2025. These are the folks that wrote Project Esther. These are the folks, period. Right. And so it's just not a thing, folks. Good morning, Marilyn. Right, Heidi. Hey, Ruby. Good morning. So it's just very clear. Yeah, voter fraud is not an issue that we have in the United States of America, and it's definitely never something that is being close to outcome determinative issues. And I need for people to really understand this. The reason why it's never going to be a problem for illegal or undocumented immigrants to vote in federal elections is because they will be deported and or imprisoned. So yeah, they're not gonna risk it. Literally. So I don't know if you all are familiar or if you know anything about this, but in some communities where you have higher populations of undocumented immigrants, so for example, like in Miami and places like that, what you will see is those folks are often victims of crimes, robberies and such, because they don't open bank accounts. They carry money around with them. A lot of the times people know that they're not likely to go to the police. They're not likely to report something that's happened to them. And that's why they make targets in some of those communities. So, it's just common sense. And just thinking about things logically speaking, if the idea is to stay here in this country, then they definitely don't want to run in with law enforcement. They don't want, and I will tell you this, even folks that are legal, I can remember back in 2022 talking to folks and folks would just go all the way away. They didn't even want to have that conversation. So it's just not a thing, folks. But since we are talking about voting, I didn't plan on starting here, but I'm going to start here. So the first thing that I want to start with is a video that has been leaked from an internal conversation with Chip Roy. So if you don't know who Chip Roy is, he is a member of Congress. He is one of the co-sponsors of the SAVE Act, right? This act that is nothing but voter suppression. It's it's a significant problem. And I saw this video yesterday and I want to share it with you all today. All right. So let me share it with you. Good morning, Sandra. Oh, thanks. Appreciate that. So let me show you what this looks like, folks. Okay. So I'm going to turn you guys around so that you can see it. And this is it. And I'm going to make sure I've got my volume up.
The SAVE Act is obviously critically important. The problem we have is we've got some folks out there that are trying to stir the pot on this, allegation that it somehow is a barrier for married women to be able to vote because they've, got to deal with getting IDs with name changes and all those things. Although, frankly, I'm trying not to elevate the issue too much. My chief of staff had to go get a new ID in Virginia. Virginia's adopted the real ID system. So she had to go through a bunch of hoops. She's going to have to go back to DMV twice because they want the paperwork for it. That's just part of the issue with how we try to set up the ability to identify people. But there's no barriers at all to married women being able to vote.
But he just said there were barriers for her to be able to vote and that she was going to have to go back to the DMV twice in Virginia. Like he literally said, my own chief of staff is going to have to go back to the DMV, right, twice, and all of those different types of things. So yes, folks, that is a barrier. That is a modern day poll tax, right? His chief of staff likely makes six figures a year. right? So maybe going to the DMV multiple times isn't an issue for his chief of staff, right? But for the average American worker that it would have to take off money, that would have to take off from work, that would have to go pay for the paperwork, that would have to go pay for the IDs, all of those different things are absolutely an issue, right? I know people that that have issues just taking off when their kids are sick, right? Hey guys, ignore Steve. Ignore Stephen. Stephen, here's what I will bet. I will bet Stephen doesn't really want to have this conversation, and I'm going to show you. I just sent Stephen an invitation to join my panel. If Stephen really wants to discuss voting and voter IDs and voter fraud, then Stephen will accept the invitation to join my panel. What Stephen won't do is probably get on my panel, because Stephen just wants to be in the chat and be disruptive and whatever. You know what I mean? Like, Stephen is a man child, which is probably why he supports the current administration and the current president of the United States, because the current president of the United States is 100% a man child. So birds of a feather flock together. There's no surprise in this. Yeah, the passport card or the passport book would be a loan. Either way, it is still a poll tax. It's still both of those things because they cost money. Good morning, Ethan. Good morning, Sandra. Good morning, Marilyn. Good morning, Ruby. So so all of these things are true and they are accurate, and they know that they are true. They know that this is an issue. They know that that this will be bad for women, and it will be bad for many of the women that are also on the Republican side of things, right? And so it's really important for people to understand the significance of the SAVE Act and why it is critical that it does not get passed, right? Folks, listen, anything that makes it more difficult for anyone to vote is not a great thing. Voter fraud is not an issue in this country. Mail-in vote is not something that is dangerous or whatever. The president of the United States just mailed in his vote for the election that happened last night. So listen, what you can't say is, oh, this method of voting is bad and it's horrible and it's whatever, but I'm going to cast my ballot that way. That's literally what the president is saying. He's saying, listen, mail-in ballots are horrible and they can be this and they can be that. But by the way, I'm going to cast my mail-in ballot for this, right? Yeah, Valerie, that's what I'm saying. It would be a poll tax. And it's not just getting the passport that's a poll tax. Listen, when you go to get a copy of your birth certificate, is it free? No. When you go to get an ID, is it free? No. When you go to get if you have to request your Social Security card, is it free? No. All of these things cost money, which makes any and all of them a poll tax and a barrier to your constitutional rights. It's just that simple. Okay? Now, I want to talk about another reason why I say that I want to talk about why I say currently that the president of the United States and Congress are a danger to the country. So one of the things that I'm very concerned about right now, all right, and for multiple reasons, okay, but we are in, according to the president of the United States, we are at war with Iran, right? We also have a president in office that has dialed up the rhetoric, even with our allies, right? We have a president that has been very volatile, very accusatory, very derogative towards people, all of those different types of things, okay? And the thing that is really crazy is that by not funding TSA, We are ridiculously putting ourselves in a horrible position. So ICE being at the airports doesn't change anything. Y'all do know that, right? ICE can't do what TSA does. They haven't gone through the training to do what TSA does. They're not allowed to do what TSA does. They don't have the same background checks and the certifications that TSA does. Having ICE, they're just sitting around watching. They're getting paid to just hang out at the airport. That's it. They cannot do the job that TSA does. There's nothing for them to do except stand around and look crazy, right? That's all they are allowed to do. Meantime, what we have is we have fewer TSA agents. We have fewer people to do the type of security checks and things that need to get done. This is a recipe for disaster. I just need you guys to understand this is a recipe for disaster, and it is dangerous. It is very dangerous to have our airports exposed in the manner that they are right now. Right. It's dangerous for air traffic control. It's dangerous for everybody. But I want you all to understand that anybody that was looking for a target in the United States of America that would be impactful, right? Because they already got that $75 billion, Veronica. ICE is still getting paid because they got that $75 billion last time. Right, Wawa, they're just line monitors. That's all ICE is doing right now. But what I really want people to understand is that if you put yourself in the mind of someone that wanted to cause harm to this country, I just really want you all to stop for a second and think about this. Okay? If you are someone that wanted to cause harm to this country and get, quote unquote, the biggest bang for your buck, right now, airports would be pretty vulnerable. They are flooded with people, even more so than usual. They don't have the same security that they normally do. They don't have the same staff there. They don't have the same checkpoints. They don't have, right? And it's very compact. And so, thanks, Sandy. Oh, I love the little bee. And so this is one of the reasons why that I really when I was looking last night, I forget who it was, but they were recording, they were live, and they were at one of the airports. And they were all the way outside of the airport, and there was no slowing down, right? It was literally, the line was outside all the way through the parking garage, and there was no end in sight for absolutely anyone. And maybe it's the military in me, right? Maybe that's what causes me to think this way, or the PTSD, whatever. But for me, I immediately think about the potential harm that could be done. I immediately think about how this could be a target. Appreciate you, Crow. Appreciate you, Sandy, right? And I don't know if anybody else has thought about that or not, but I definitely have. I have thought about it, and thanks, Candy Kiss, and the ability that we would have to be a huge target. Yeah, see, Jen is like me. Jen's a vet like me. And I immediately have those thoughts. And it makes me go, holy crap, would I travel at this time? No, ma'am, I would not. No, I would not. This is not the time, in my opinion, to be traveling. That's just my opinion. And yeah, Ruby said retired Army here as well. Definitely. Yeah. So this is what causes me to think like this. The other things I think about, and we talked about this. Okay. So I don't know if you all know this or not, but let's just say that you live near a huge chemical plant, or you live near a so like I'm from Northeast Tennessee. I always think about the like Oak Ridge, Tennessee is a nuclear facility. There's also a nuclear facility in Unicoi County. There's also Eastman Chemical Company right there in Kingsport. And so all of these things are relatively close to each other. There's not that much difference. But one of the things that I think about, folks, is this. So I think about the stress that that this is putting on so many different places and what it looks like with our healthcare system. I just I think about the impact and what could happen when we have understaffed hospitals and we have, trauma centers that aren't up to standard, or trauma centers that have been downgraded, and all of those different types of things. Oh my gosh, Sandy, I wish Bella was here to see that. She would have a cow. There's like a little special Minecraft gift. And Bella Boo is a Minecraft kiddo. So she would love that little gift. But I think about the chaos that could be unending. So I have grave concerns about Congress not being able to get past and to ignore the president of the United States. Yeah, I can, Sandy. And what he's saying. So for anybody that is in here and you are a Trump supporter and you are MAGA, several of you guys have said that you are, right? So this is my question to you. The president of the United States yesterday said that he doesn't care what kind of deal that they make, that he's not going to be happy with any deal that Republicans make with Democrats that funds TSA if it doesn't guarantee that the SAVE Act gets passed. Is there anyone that voted for Trump that finds that horrible that the president of the United States would attempt to keep funding and to hold funding hostage for people that keep us safe, people that do their jobs in order to get his way? Do we want a president of the United States of America that is willing to allow federal folks to go unpaid, to say it doesn't matter what the deal might be, right? If it's a deal, I'm not for it. And basically, I'm going to hold everything hostage until you do the thing that I want to do. And is that democracy? Is that even a republic? No, it's neither. It's neither a democracy nor is it a republic. Neither. And the job of Congress is to be separate but equal. And when I think about the largest danger in the country right now, in my mind, it's not Donald Trump. In my mind, the greatest threat to this country right now is Congress. That to me is the greatest threat to the country. It's the members of Congress that will not do the job that they were elected to do for the people, and they refuse to use the power that Congress has to put this administration and to put this in check. What's up, Joan? Good to see you. So for me, those are the people that are the most dangerous, right? And people aren't stopping to think about that. I want the Democratic Party to stop talking about Donald Trump. I want the Democratic Party to start talking about Congress. I want the Democratic Party to start talking about the members of Congress that will not do the job that the American people are asking them to do, that they were elected to do. Because that's where you win. These are the midterms. This is the time to be talking about. Lindsey Graham's crazy ass is literally talking about we took Iwo Jima. We can take this. We can take that. First of all, okay, do you know how many lives we lost? Do you know how many lives we lost to make that happen? Right? Thousands upon thousands upon thousands. So here's my thing, Lindsey. Strap on some boots and Kevlar and take your ass onto the front lines then. If you're so ready to die for America, if you're such an incredible patriot, put your ass on the front line. That's what I'm ready for. I know you got some sons or some grandsons or some nephews or somebody. Take yourself to the front lines. If you think putting your life on the line for oil is worth it, then take your ass and do it. Yeah, Ethan, I know the number. It was 7,000. Just so everybody knows, it was 7,000. And I'm just going to be clear, those are 7,000, and the majority of them are going to be the sons and daughters of working class Americans, who many of them joined the military because it was the only way for them to get out of their town, or it was the only way that they could get a good paying job. Some of them, it would be the only way that they could go to college. Make no mistake, our military is majority made up of people that come from lower income or poor communities. And that's why they don't care if their lives are lost. I keep telling you all that the real issue is classism. And there's intersectionality, make no mistake about that. There's a hierarchy, right? There are points of intersection. But just so that we are all clear, right, Ruby, president's personal interests should not be the people's concerns of benefits. Right, and then treat them poorly when they return home, like changing the interim final rule to try to take benefits away from veterans that take medication for their symptoms or for their illnesses or for their disabilities. I want to know, how is that America First? I want to know, how is that showing appreciation to people who sign up? Because let me be clear, folks, at the time that you sign your name on the dotted line, you don't know if you're going to be called up. You don't know if you're going to be deployed. You don't know where you're going to be stationed. There are absolutely zero guarantees. And one of the reasons you go to basic training before you go to AIT and learn your job is because the first thing you got to know is how to fucking fight. The first thing you got to know is how to handle your grenade and your weapon. The first thing you got to know is how to daggone dig a foxhole. The first thing you know is how to got to be in the field. The first thing you got to know is what to do with them damn MREs. Right? You got to know how to go down the range. You got to know how to change your little sight and line your targets up. You got to learn how to take that sucker apart and put it back together in a certain time frame. That's why you go to basic training first, before you learn whatever your job is going to be. So I don't know what it is going to take for folks to understand exactly what the government in this country does or doesn't do. Because what they don't do is take care of their people. And they don't take care of them when they serve either. Let me just be clear. They don't get paid what they should in the military. If you all think the military pays great, you are mistaken. Can I just, hold on. I didn't expect to go over this today, but I'm going to. Current military pay scale 2026. I don't know if y'all know that you can look this up, but you can. Okay, so here we go. So I am looking at the Defense Finance and Accounting Service, the DFAS, right? DFAS. And let me share my screen with you all. Okay, so here we are. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to enlisted members, because most people do not go into the military as a commissioned officer, right? Matter of fact, we will talk shit about you if you did. If you join the military and you just get to come out a commissioned officer because you went to college, yeah, we will talk shit about you if you didn't go through the ranks. We do. I mean, I'm just telling the truth. Buenos dias, Richie. So let me share it with you. Enlisted members. If you come in just a straight E1, Sorry, I swallowed wrong. So an E1 is just somebody that's just coming straight in. That's what they are. I went in as an E1. If you have been in 2 years or less, your pay is $2,407.20 per month. I'm going to say that again. $2,407.20 per month. Y'all are like, what the fuck? Yeah. I'm just letting y'all know. If you are an E5, that's your first sergeant. That's your NCO, right? This is now you're a sergeant in the military, an E5. Okay. $3,342.90 per month. I need you all to understand we have people in the military that still qualify for WIC. We have people in the military that still qualify for government programs. When I was in the military, I literally was on WIC. Right. Exactly, honey Nicole. Some of them even get SNAP. They get food stamps. So let's just say that you've been in the military for 6 years. Let's say you've been in for over 6 years and you were an E7. You're $4,843 a month. So there's two things that determine your pay. Okay, this is your base rate. All right. And so it's whatever your rank is and how many years of service you have in. Right. And it doesn't matter if you're a damn doctor or if you are a mechanic. Okay. But we don't work 40 hours. Let me be clear, Felicia. In the military, you don't work 40 hours. You got to get your ass up. You got to go to PT in the morning. Once you finish PT, then you can go back to the barracks or back to your house. Then you can wash your ass, get your BDUs on. Then you go to your regular job where you work anywhere from 8, 12, depending upon what your job is. Yes, your income is taxed. Yes, your income is taxed. Your housing is only free if you live on post. And most of the time there's no housing available on post. There's a waiting list. You got to get your ass something off post. And no, EBT is SNAP benefits, food stamps. Right. And if you go out to the field for 3 weeks, that's 24 hours a day out in the field for 3 weeks. You get BAQ. You get a little allowance to help with your housing, but it don't cover your rent. Right. And when you have duty, then when you're pulling CQ, when you are pulling CQ, when you have duty, that's 24 hours. Yeah. And like I said, the job isn't 40 hours a week. The job is 24/7. Oh, housing allowance never covers full rent. Let me just hold on. So somebody said rarely. No, it's not rarely. It doesn't. it doesn't. It doesn't cover it at all. Let me see right now if I can find there's your travel pay. Like if you go TDY or whatever. What I am looking for is nope, that's hardship, hazardous duty. Hold on. Let me just look real quick. So BAQ military pay 2026. Basic allowance for housing. And so if you go to basic allowance for housing, your individual rate, what do they say now? I am looking. Okay, can I just have the damn rates? Can I just have the rates? There we go. Well, no, that's a fact sheet. I just want the rates. I don't want I just want the rates. That's all I want. Oh, they want me to use a calculator. So let's just do it. Somebody give me a zip code like here, Fort Bragg. Let's just do Fort Bragg. Let's just do a Fort Bragg zip code. We are going to do 28307. 28307. We're going to put this year, and let's just say we are an E5. So we are a sergeant. So an E5 without dependents and it says military housing area. It is not Greenville, South Carolina, but whatever. I don't know why did they, oh, because I typed the wrong thing. Hold on. Hold on. 28. I was like, the hell that's wrong. So Fort Bragg, if you're a sergeant, an E5 with no dependents, it is $1,527 a month. So you get extra for if you have dependents. So check this out. If I'm an E5 and I'm stationed at Bragg, I get $1,500 a month as a housing allowance. If I have dependents, and it don't matter if I got 2 kids, a wife, or whatever, but if I have dependents, it's $1,800. Tell me what the average 2-bedroom in the United States of America is. $2,200 to $2,500 a month. That's the average. Just to be clear. And listen, that don't cover if you like all them fees you got to pay that first and last month, that all the application fees and all of that. That covers none of that. None of that. So, yeah, folks. That's what I was just looking at, Dark. That's what I was just looking at was the BAH allowances. I used a calculator. You put in your zip code and then it spits out the dollar amount. Yeah. So funny, right? Now I want you all on TikTok to notice something. Do you see the minute that I didn't take the bait? Alaikum salam, Mohammed. Remember when I didn't take the bait and talk to any of them damn trolls and feed their energy? You see they all left, right? Because they're not here for real conversation. They just want to distract you all from important information and the things that we're actually talking about. Appreciate you guys. So just put your blinders on. We ain't talking to them people. But it's just really important that people understand what this is. You don't, when you say you wish you could get BAH, not for what it costs to get it. Not for what it costs to get it. I promise you right now, for those 5,000 people that have been deployed and the 3,000 that are leaving Bragg now in the 82nd Airborne, I promise you that BAH isn't worth them coming back in a body bag. It's the basic allowance for housing. When I was in, we used to call it BAQ, basic allowance for quarters. But it's the basic allowance for housing. Yeah, if you have daycare, even daycare on post costs money. Daycare on post costs money. Just so that everybody understands all of those things. You go to the commissary on post, you buying groceries just like you do anywhere else. You go to the PX is like a Walmart, but it's on post, you're paying money just like everybody else. That's why they had to come up with DPP, deferred payment plan. So you could go get something at the PX and then pay for it in monthly installments coming out of your check. Yeah, Terrence, they sure are. And so does anybody know? Iran said 2 words as a message to soldiers in the United States of America that are being deployed. Does anybody know what the 2 words that Iran said was? Anybody know what the 2 words Iran said? I'm going to tell you what Iran said. Iran said, come closer. Iran said, come closer. Yeah, Iran said, come closer. We have been threatening to take Karg Island forever. Yeah, they've been waiting. Yesterday, Kat. Hold on, I'm going to pull up the whole statement. Hold on a second. All right. It's crazy. Listen, they said they mocked Trump so bad. They said you are dressing up defeat as an agreement. They not playing. I just really want you all to know they are not playing in any way, shape, or form. They said that the United States was quote unquote negotiate. Wait a minute. What did he? I want the full statement. Okay. What? I don't want the. Okay. Yeah. This has the translation. And so he's talking. I want you all to hear what he says. Is this it? Yes. Okay. Listen.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحیم. قدرت راهبردی که از آن دم میزدید.
I need it with the damn translation. You all can't understand that one, and I damn sure can't understand that one. Hold on. I need it with the translation. Because we was about to all be jacked up. Hold on. Thank you. Because I was like, we will be all kind of fucked up. Sorry, y'all, but I was just like, wait a minute. I can't. That's not the one I thought I was playing. Let me see if this one is the one. Oh, yeah. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Why is this not popping up? I need it to pop up. Y'all are laughing at me. Wait, maybe if I just look for it this way, I'll find it. Okay. Okay, let me see if this one has the translation. Okay, I'm going to push play. Let me share it and push play. Yeah, I've seen their videos. Listen, their social media, Happy Girl, their social media mocks the shit out of Trump. I mean, their social media is doing the same. Okay, so let me see if this one's got the translation.
قدرت راهبردی که از آن دم میزدید تبدیل به شکست راهبردی شده. مدعی ابرقدرتی دنیا اگر میتوانست از این مخمسه رها شود تا حالا شده بود. اسم شکست.
Obviously. I want the one. Okay, let me just read what he has said so far. It's 1 minute, y'all. He says, the strategic power you used to talk about has turned into a strategic failure. The one claiming to be a global superpower would have already gotten out of this mess if it could. And then he says, Don't dress up your defeat as an agreement. Your era of empty promises has come to an end. Have your internal conflicts reached the point where you are negotiating with yourselves? We state this clearly. Until it is our will, nothing will go back to the way it was. That will only come about when the very thought of acting against the Iranian nation is completely wiped from your corrupt minds. Our first and last word has been the same since day one, and it will stay that way. Someone like us will never come to terms with someone like you, not now, not ever. And then he says, and then it was the rest of
قدرت
it.
راهبردی که
Wow.
از آن دم میزدید
And then he went on to say, they got two words for American soldiers: come closer. Literally, they not playing. And I need for everybody to understand. Right, Terrence. Terrence was like, people forget we train them here, and we do. But and I want to be clear, when the United States of America says, "Oh, we're giving them this 15-point plan for a ceasefire," that 15-point plan is basically what they agreed to before you started bombing them. I'm going to say that again. Listen, this 15-point plan is damn near what they agreed to give you before you started bombing them. And they have said, we're not giving you anything now. You want me while you are bombing me. You want me to give up all my weapons and my ability to defend myself? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Yeah, Iran had agreed to give up all of their what am I trying to say? Enriched uranium and all. They had already agreed to that 2 days before we hit them. 2 days. And do you know what we had told them? We told them that we will have another meeting in 2 weeks to iron out the details. And instead of that, Bibi said, nope, we need to do it now. Because I don't think that Bibi counted on Iran being willing to make the deal that they were willing to make. And for anybody that says to me, well, I don't trust Iran, I'm going to tell you something. Nobody trusts us. The United States of America isn't reliable. The UK isn't reliable. Hey, Powerhouse, do me a favor. Please don't spam the chat saying the same thing over and over again. I'm just telling you, we are not reliable. Our allies have said we are not reliable. So if our allies don't trust us, you damn well know, and someone who considers us to be the enemy isn't going to trust us. And to be frank, nor should they. And all that they have done is take out the civilians that were leading the Iranian government, and those people have been replaced by members of the IRGC. The members of the IRGC are way more radical than the civilians were. You literally unalived the people that would have been willing to have a conversation with you. What's up, shimmy, 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 Cocoa Pop, shimmy, shimmy, ah. Missed you, shimmy. But all of these things are ridiculously important. Oh, listen, they have Russia, they have China, they have Iraq. 100%. Folks, I don't want, I did a post day before yesterday because somebody said, something about my position on Jews. And I said, I don't have a position on Jews. I don't. I have a position on the government and the state of Israel. That's what I have a position on. And that position isn't changing. That position is rooted in fact. That position is held by the vast majority of humanitarian organizations in the world. That position is held by the International Criminal Court. That position is well known, well justified, well documented. So you don't get to play any games with me. I'm playing zero games about you trying to make it seem like I'm anti-Semitic. No, you don't get to. You're not gonna do that. You can play that shit with somebody else, but not over here. Because I am always clear when I make these issues. My issue is with the government, which, by the way, if you all don't understand this, right? That would be like equating me with everything the United States of America does. When people criticize America, I don't take that shit personal because I know they're not talking about me. I'm not offended by that because you are not talking about me. You are talking about the leadership of this country. You are talking about the government of this country. I know good and well you're not talking about me. So it's ridiculous to try to spin it that anybody that criticizes Israel is criticizing Jews, as if Jews are the only people in Israel, or as if Jews aren't anywhere else in the world, because they definitely are. So I don't think that people really understand what is happening in the Middle East and what is happening when it comes to Iran. I don't know that I have ever. We are a 250-year-old baby country that has not been down this road in the way that we are now. I want you all to think about the other times when we were in. I wonder if you all think about the other times when we were in conflict and when we went to war. We were a very different country then. Were we not? We were dealing with, we knew that there was corrupt shit in politics, but back then there wasn't anyone that would cross the lines that this administration has crossed. Okay? And so this is the part that I don't think people really understand. We do not present as a united front. We do not present as a well-regulated military with strength and strategy and wisdom and intelligence on our side. Alaikum salam, Solomon. You hear me? We don't present that way. We do not have the respect of the world, not even with our military. Right, Mama Dukes, and we don't have our allies behind us. And they literally just showed the entire world that. Do you know who was trying to do the negotiating between Iran and the United States of America? Do you know who it is? Pakistan. It is Pakistan that is attempting to negotiate things between the United States of America and Iran. The UK has offered to host a summit with Iran and other countries in the Middle East to try to work out some sort of way to get the strait open for them. Everybody in the world, listen, they are going directly to the source. The UK is not coming to the aid of the United States of America to make this happen. The UK said, we're going to diplomatically approach folks in the Middle East to see if we can make this happen. And if the United States of America is the only country that can't get their shit through the strait, then fuck them. They are all looking out for themselves. Why? Because we said America first. And because we said we don't need anybody. And do you know who they are negotiating for Iran to meet with? Do you know who they are negotiating for Iran to meet with? Well, spoiler alert, it ain't Donald Trump. Do y'all know who it is? What's up, baby Mo? It's JD Vance. Nope, it's not Jared Kushner. It is JD Vance. Salam Hamza. It is JD Vance. Now, if one were to stop and think for a see, Amy is like me. Amy said, here we go. Lining his ass up. That's exactly what they are doing. They are lining him up. Just sit with that for a moment. Oh, I know. Iran was firing at Israel last night. And Israel swears that they didn't do any damage to that to the infrastructure facility. So here's the thing. JD Vance is, in my opinion, is worse for the country than even Trump, right? And what they were wanting was they wanted Vance to not take over until until a year from now. So they needed JD Vance to not take over until January 20th or 22nd, whatever the damn inauguration date is. They wanted JD Vance to not take over until January of next year. Why? Because January of next year, it would have been after the 2-year mark. So if he did take over as the president of the United States, he could still run for office for 2 more terms. But if things move so fast that he has to take over now because he's being pressured to invoke the 25th, which, by the way, Mike Pence was pressured to invoke the 25th the first fucking time, right? But if he has to take over now before next January, then guess what? JD only gets 1 more term. If that. So, yeah. So, okay. So if he takes over as president and Trump has served 2 terms or more, and all JD does is finish out his terms, he can still run for 2 more terms. But if JD takes over before the end of January next year, then he's only going to get that 1 more. He can only run 1 more time. I don't prefer any of them. Oh, okay. So let me be clear. Vance hasn't talked to anybody except Pakistan yet. So let me be clear about what's happening. When Iran says we are not negotiating with the United States of America, they're not. Iran is not directly communicating with us right now. Iran is getting messages and information from Pakistan, and Pakistan is getting that information from the United States of America. That's what's happening. And Iran has said this very clearly. They said, listen, we might be open to talking, but we're not negotiating. Yes, Shimmy, I did. I want you all to hear what I just said. Iran said, we will talk, but we ain't negotiating. Iran said, we ain't negotiating shit. They shouldn't believe anything we say. We literally bombed them right after we said we had an agreement. And all we had to do was work out the details. Yeah. So let me see if I can put them out for you. Oh, Lord. Every time I see it, I don't like to laugh about it, but every time he said, are y'all so crazy that you are now negotiating with yourself? he said, you talking to your damn self because I'm not negotiating with you. Y'all should be like, oh my gosh. Like, it's just really, really, really wild. Let me see if I can find the 15 points. Okay, so these are some of the key elements. So it would include a 30-day ceasefire. They want Iran to dismantle their nuclear facilities in Natanz, Isfahan, and Fordow. They want a permanent commitment from Iran to never develop nuclear weapons. They want the handover of Iran's stockpile of already enriched uranium to the International Atomic Energy Agency, and a commitment from Iran to allow the IAEA to monitor all elements of the country's remaining nuclear infrastructure. Iran must also no longer enrich uranium within the country. They want to put limits on the number of missiles and the range of those missiles that Iran can have. They want to end Iran's support for regional proxies. And by regional proxies, they mean Hezbollah and Hamas and the Houthis or whatever, right? They said they want to end Iranian strikes on regional energy facilities. They want to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. And then we will remove all sanctions that are imposed on Iran, alongside the ending of the UN mechanism that allows sanctions to be reimposed, and the provision of U.S. support for electricity generation at Iran's Bushehr civil nuclear plant. It ain't happening. It ain't happening. Right. The art of the deal, baby. They are getting none of that. I just want you to understand. So let's just say you and I are in a fight. We in the ring. Y'all ready? Iran has said, listen, the United States hasn't even been able to present that to Iran. They gave it to Pakistan, and then Pakistan gave it to Iran because Iran said, we ain't negotiating shit. Right? And I don't think that people understand this. Okay, let me be clear. So the IRGC is the military, right? The soldiers for the country. And Iran had civilians that were running the government. Those were the people that were willing to negotiate. Those are the people that went to Italy and met with Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner and all of that, right? Well, Israel killed all of them. Israel kept bragging. The United States kept bragging. We unalived so-and-so. We unalived so-and-so. Well, all you did is allow members of the IRGC to fill those positions because they had named their successors. And they named their successors about 4 times down the line. So they accounted for losing 4 of their leaders, and they had people in line to just bloop, 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 bloop. Imagine they had a bench, y'all. You know how when you play sports, you got a bench, you got a backup in case your star player gets hurt. They had a bench, and their bench was 5 deep, 4 and 5 deep for each position. 4 and 5 deep for each position. And with every unaliving of the person in front of them, the person stepping up is more radical than the other one and is less likely to negotiate with you. And that is the position that we have put ourselves in. Let me look, Nance. Nope, not yet. So 3 days ago, they said that the tankers that were headed to Cuba had to divert down to Trinidad for a second. But yeah, no, they're still not there yet. What's up, Deborah Richards? Good to see you. So right, they have a battle plan and we do not. That's the truth of the matter, you all. We did no preparation for this. We had concepts of a plan. I'm sorry, it's not funny. It's not funny. But we had concepts of a plan that have just been sitting on a shelf that I'm just saying, right? This is what I, but the reason why I say concepts of a plan is because there's always an outline for if you have to do something, right? There's always like an outline for like what you would do, right? But yeah, we had concepts of a plan. And BB's plan, quite frankly, was to let us deal primarily with Iran while they bulldozed and took over Lebanon because they need the Greater Israel Project. And I'm telling y'all, you cannot put boots down anywhere until you have cleared, like, yes, one has to laugh to keep from screaming or crying. And I'm just telling you all, like, it doesn't work. Tell me something. Why are we sending U.S. troops when Israel has the IDF? Let Israel put boots on the ground and head on over to Iran and see what happens. Israel didn't even want to put their boots on the ground in Gaza and deal with Hamas because Hamas would have lit that ass up. Right? They only went into areas once the drones had done the majority of the work. I'm just telling the truth. They wouldn't even send the IDF in until the drones had done the majority of the work. Why are we sending Americans? Let BB send the IDF. Right, Allie Nicole, that's what I said. They're too busy getting to roll their tanks up into Lebanon. So people can be like, and this is what I say all the time to people who don't like what I'm saying. You don't have to like what I'm saying, but the fact is that it's the truth. And we have to, yes, I'm for that, friend. The Facebook comment was, send ICE. Yes, please, and thank you. Let's do that. Ship all they asses out. Send ICE. I'm for that. All day. They want to be big military men. Take your ass on to the real battlefield. I'd be okay with that all day. That's a good idea right there. I'm for it. I am for it. Let's see how tough they are. Let's see how tough they are. Because y'all know they're not, right? They're not. Oh shit. Hold on. I gotta look this up real quick. I'm not subscribing to you. I'm just going to go read it from somebody else that just said what you said. Like, Okay, we'll do this one later. I can't do it today. I can't do it today. Um, and then here's the other thing. So let me tell you something else that Iran has said. Iran has said that there's not going to be any type of conversation unless Israel is in that conversation, unless everybody else is in that conversation, because they're not going to make a deal with anybody to do anything if everybody's not on board. And I'm going to tell you right now, Israel's not going to be on board. So I want to show you all. I want to show you all a clip that you maybe either don't know about or didn't see. So let me just show you. Where are you? Let me see. Yes, this is the clip. I ad, y'all. It's an ad. Hold on. Okay, I'm going to share this clip, and I pray it's the right one. But I literally I want you all to hear this. Because I want to make sure. Okay, I believe this is the clip that I want. If it's not, I apologize, and I will find the clip. So let me just make one more thing. Okay, this is supposed to be it. This better be it. Shit. Okay, so listen to this. These are these are the leaders of 25 Arab countries speaking. So just listen. Let me take this down because I want you all to see this, okay? Y'all are already sharing. Okay, perfect. Here we go.
Syrian problem and end the suffering of our people that started with the Nakba in 1948, the region of the Middle East will continue to be struggling, unstable, insecure. I think we're proven right that it's time for State of Palestine to be established and on the ground and as fast as possible to end the misery, the insecurity, and the troubles of the Middle East. We are believers in peace and prosperity for all. We thank all countries that recognize Palestine. We also invite others to do the same.
Over people were killed in one day.
It was Jordan's foreign minister who warned that the situation could get much more dangerous in a region already on the brink. Particularly
Gosh, I'm so mad. I'm so mad. I don't want to hear you, damn it. I want to hear the man. Hold on, y'all. I'm mad. It's not the one. It is the one, but I don't want to hear this man tell me what the man said. I just want to hear the man say it. Damn it. I just want to hear the man say it. I know y'all are like, just play it. I don't like to hear anybody else's interpretation. I don't like the media. So I just want to hear what the man says himself and then go from there. Okay. I bet y'all gonna talk too, though. I don't want these people to talk, damn it. Sorry, y'all. It's important. That's the clip that I wanted you guys to hear. So he says very clearly, the entire Arab world will guarantee the security of Israel. They want peace. They are there on behalf of 57 Arab nations. And he said, listen, we want peace in the context of they remove themselves from occupied territories and allow the emergence of a sovereign, independent Palestinian state. And if Israel is willing to do that, then we can all have peace and we will guarantee the security of Israel. All 57 Arab nations, we will guarantee Israel's security, their peace, their all of that. All they have to do is withdraw themselves from occupied Palestine, go back to honoring the border that were drawn in 1967 in the agreement, and allow Palestine to emerge as an independent, sovereign state. That is all that is required. So when people say Israel has a right to be there, the Arab countries are even saying we will let you be here, even though you aren't entitled to shit. Well, so I'm gonna let the man say what he said again, and you can argue with him about what they represent. Okay, I'm gonna let the man say it again. I'm gonna let the man say it again, and then you can argue with what he said. "57 Arab and Muslim countries." So I think they know how many Arab and Muslim countries they represent. So when you say there's only 22, go argue with somebody else that knows geography. But I think that this man probably knows more than you. Y'all kill me always in TikTok like you know some shit. I'm literally playing from you. They are at the Security Council. Do y'all know where they are? They are at the Security Council. They are at the UN. Not that I saw Salida. It came 3 times yesterday. But the man is literally sitting there on the international stage. And you down here, there's only 22 Arab countries. You better go argue with a fucking map. That's what you can do for me. Go argue with the map. Because I'm not doing it. I'm the map, I'm the map, I'm the map, I'm the map. Go argue with the map, not me. Okay. It's just wild to me, the things that people want to argue like they don't know facts. Appreciate you, I'm not sure. But anyway, and so when I first heard this was a while ago. I want to say, let me see when this was. This was over a year ago. Guys, this was over a year ago. And the thing that I am upset about is, tell me why every mainstream media in the United States of America doesn't play that for all of the American people to see. I know what they said. I played it twice. I'm the one who played it. Arab and Muslim countries. But do you think that if everyone covered and played this same thing, right? Do you think that the position of many Americans might shift a little bit? Because I think so. I think that's one of the reasons why they are concerned now, is because Israel is losing the support that they have had in this country for a long time. Right? Think about this, you all. In 2007, Jimmy Carter said he doesn't think that there's a single member in Congress that would speak up and say, Israel should withdraw from Palestine and whatever. And if they did, they wouldn't be back in Congress, which we saw that happen with Marjorie Taylor Greene, right? But what you are seeing currently is you are seeing people run for office saying specifically, I will not take AIPAC money. I will not take Kufi money. I will not take NORPAC, J Street money. I will not take pro-Israeli money. And that is not something that I think anybody would have seen. Right? And so now that we are at that point, I think that if you played this, right, I played the whole video yesterday, Mo Justice. I have played, not only did Jimmy Carter, he didn't call Israel an apartheid state, he called Palestine an apartheid state. And he called Palestine an apartheid state that is worse than the apartheid in South Africa. That's what he said. Cory Booker said what on CNN last night? What did Cory Booker say? If Cory Booker said he ain't taking AIPAC money or some shit, that's because Cory Booker know he about to lose his seat if he does. Tell me what Cory Booker said, because I don't watch CNN. Anybody else see Cory Booker on CNN last night? Anybody else? Yeah, he said that Palestine's apartheid is worse than South Africa's apartheid. So Tracy is saying that Hakeem Jeffries said it. Where did Hakeem Jeffries say it? And so now the military is saying you can join the army up to 42 now. They need them 2 extra years to get some more people in. Hold on. I got to find these clips that y'all over here talking about. And then I got other stuff we got to talk about, y'all. Give me a second. He said it last night. Why can't I find it? Because I don't see it. Oh, that's what Politico is saying that he said. But did you see him say it? Because I need to see him say it with my own ears. And I love Politico, but I need to hear him say it. You saw him say it, Tisha? Why can't I see him, Cory Booker? Let me just take this part out. CNN last night. See, this is a week ago, 2 days ago, 1 week ago, 1 week ago, 1 week ago. See, y'all watch CNN. I do not. I do not. So Amy, they are saying that Cory Booker said last night that he was not going to take AIPAC money. And then somebody over here said Hakeem Jeffries said the same thing. Let me see. No, that's Jake. So he was with Kaylin when he said it. Y'all are like, damn, Dani, really? Yes, because I need to be able to see it. He was with Kaylin. Nope, that's him on The View. Why is he making the rounds? Cory Booker think he gonna run for Congress. No, you're not. I mean, he thinks he's gonna run for the presidency. No, he's not. I'm gonna tell you right now, not peeing for 20-something hours and whatever, that's not gonna do it, Cory. That's not gonna get you elected. That's not going to do it. I need for Corey to do something different. Did anybody else find it? Because I have not found it yet. If it was a clip or an interview, right. You think it was, so somebody said it was Aaron's show. So Aaron is Hakeem Jeffries? Because this is big. We need to be able to see it. Let me try Hakeem Jeffries and see if I see it. I think it's interesting that both of these ninjas said it on the same day or around the same time. He's on a book tour. Did Hakeem say this at the same time that he told Trump to keep his reckless mouth shut, or was it on a different show? Because that's all that keeps coming up. Yeah, Jay Nice, you know I said ninjas. Yeah, I said ninjas. I sure did. See, this is why Alaikum salam. Tracy, tell me where he was. Where was he? Was it in the press conference that he did? Media. Okay, got you. We can do it. We can do it. I got you now. Okay, I'm there. I'm going. Why they got Bannon up here? Okay. Okay. I'm on their page now, looking. Oh, my sweet baby Jesus. Yeah, y'all. Where? Y'all got me looking crazy. Y'all have got me looking crazy over here searching for something. Oh, shit. That's interesting. Sorry. They said it was from 2025. You know what, y'all? Y'all got me over here looking real crazy. So we are saying that Cory Booker was from a year ago. Okay, I give up. I give up because this is crazy. Oh, he dodged the question. Yeah. Oh, here it is. This is a Politico article. All right, so listen, this article is from yesterday. And this is a Politico article, and it says that Senator Cory Booker, who receives donations bundled by AIPAC, which is the American Israel Public Affairs Committee, as late as December, told Politico that he's sworn off the group's funds and other PAC money. Gavin Newsom says he never has and never will take donations from AIPAC. Ruben Gallego, which let me tell you, Ruben took a shit ton of money from them too, he said last week that he won't take AIPAC money anymore. And Josh Shapiro said he has never taken money or solicited support from AIPAC. Andy Bashir said AIPAC has never contributed to Governor Bashir, and they're never going to ever, end quote. Wow. Okay. So all of them are coming out. Yeah. All of them are coming out and saying, we're not going to take AIPAC money anymore. Yeah. Andy Bashir said, never have, never will, ever. Like literally, it literally had a dot and then it said ever with another dot. But I think that this is, so I think a couple of things has happened. Okay. I think a couple of things has happened if I'm being direct. So one of the things that I think has happened is there has been a turning point when it comes to how people in the United States of America see Israel, right? Yeah, so we're going to talk about that. My friend said he certainly didn't say that on The View because I was yelling at the ladies to ask him about AIPAC and none did. Not yelling at the TV. Okay. So I think that that's important. But the other thing that I think is, if you all remember in Illinois, so in Illinois, I want you all to remember that AIPAC only had a 50% win rate. Okay. So remember, in the Illinois primaries last week, AIPAC poured $22 million into that primary. Remember, they lost 2 and they won 2. And those were just primaries. So I think the impact and the effectiveness of AIPAC is also on the decline. So it's not just people are seeing Israel for who they are. It's not just, hey, people watched a G-side in 4K all around the world and, you know, God doesn't sanction G-side, right? I think it's more than those two things. I think it's that and AIPAC's impact, AIPAC's effectiveness didn't work in Illinois. And that's even spending $22 million. Now, remember, in the 2024 campaign, they pumped out $53 million, right? $53 million. And I think it's really important, folks, that, the fact that they spent a shit ton more money than anybody else and still lost is significant. Still lost is significant. And it's really important, right? So, yay. And remember y'all when I showed you all how to log into the FEC, how to check where those contributions are coming from? And the other thing, let me tell you something. This is where the other problem can occur. So listen, the other problem that can occur. So CUFI, Christians United for Israel, CUFI used to be a PAC. They organized and they had a PAC in 2019, and then they quit operating as a PAC. And now they are just an overly zealous right-wing organization, but they donate directly. So CUFI, you will not see CUFI PAC money because they don't operate as a PAC anymore. You won't see any reports on them. So it's just the donors. It's just the donors. What's her name? Sonia, what's her name? Hold on. Sonia, whatever your last name is, CUFI. What the hell is her name? Y'all, CUFI has an official site on YouTube, and they have their website, and they have a Facebook page that is absolutely crazy. Alaikum salam. Allah Shak Shak. So listen. So her name is Sophia Fierros. Fierros. Okay. So if you don't know about let me ask you this question, and I'm asking everybody. So even you guys over here, how many of you all are not familiar with CUFI? Because CUFI is big. And CUFI is just as dangerous as AIPAC. Here is the difference. So AIPAC is a lobby. And, okay, a bunch of you guys aren't. All right, I'm going to show you. You only heard about it from me? Okay. So I'm going to look, we're going to do a couple different things. Okay. Are y'all ready? We're going to do a couple of different things. First, I'm going to go to, oops. I'm going to go to Kufi. Well, sweet baby Jesus. Kufi.org. And I want to show you their site, but then I want to show you all this. You guys over here on this side of the world. Okay. I want to pull up. This is Kufi. And it's Christians. These are Christian Zionists. So listen, I have said this before. There are more Christian Zionists than there are Jewish Zionists. And in the United States of America, these Christian Zionists are more dangerous than the Jewish Zionists, to be really frank. Now, what I want to show you is Kufi's website, but then I also want to show you their daggone Facebook page, because it is wild. Hey, Allah Shak Shak. All right. So I got you guys over here. So when you go to their website, right? Making Israel stronger and her people safer. It's the foremost up. And then of course you got a pop-up that comes up. Contact President Trump to let him know you stand with Israel. So this is going to automatically send an email to the White House for you. Okay, Sandy. So check it out. So they are the foremost Christian organization educating and empowering millions of Americans to speak and act with one voice in defense of Israel and the Jewish people, right? You can join, you can donate, pray, watch, defend. And this is their mission, changing the destiny of America. This is Pastor John Hagee. And listen, I am not at all body shaming. Here's what I will say is I need you to work on them 7 deadly sins before you come telling me shit. All right, so here we go.
With the help of Rabbi Scheinberg, my dear friend, the first night to honor Israel happened. Its purpose, to bring comfort and consolation to the Jewish people. It was simple obedience to one verse in the Bible. And look what it has done. It is changing the destiny of America and the attitude of nations concerning the Jewish people. In 2006, when we organized Christians United for Israel, no one could possibly see that 10 million people would one day join that holy cause. And if you're a Bible-believing Christian and want to be a part of us, phone us. We're ready to take you. Our mission is to stand with Israel and the Jewish people by fighting anti-Semitism and the false doctrine of replacement theology, tooth and tongue. We are going to be here as consolation to the Jewish people because they are the firstborn of God.
So what do y'all think? What y'all think about that? Okay, so let me show you. So their Facebook is just as crazy. Their Facebook is just as crazy. Why is this? I need you to go away. Okay, so yes, they are the firstborn of God. So hold on. So this is their Facebook. And it is wild. So just hold on. I'm gonna get y'all there. So this is Kufi. They have 1.8 million followers on Facebook. IDF says it destroyed or disabled around 330 of Iran's missile launchers, right? They had a thing up here the other day that said if you are against Israel, if you don't stand with Israel, then you are you're against God. This is nothing but Hasbara. Look, there are only two sides. You're either with the mullahs or the people. I just want y'all to understand what is happening. It has always been every people who try, look, a ton of them do. A ton of them do. It's wild to me. Look, Israeli founded companies created 20,000 jobs in California. Yeah, this page is called Kufi, Christians United for Israel. Yeah. There can be no illusion. I'm just telling y'all. I haven't been up here since before the war started, but they are crazy. And this never happened. Pallets of cash never happened. Like, that's just dumb. This is the problem. And this is the thing that gets on my nerves. So I really want to ask this question, you all. What is the difference between that? Listen, what is the difference between that and Muslim extremists? If that were a website for a mosque promoting Islam, what would people say about that? I just want you all to try that on for me. Like, I really want you to try it on for me, because this is what I was talking about yesterday. Everybody in this country, Mike Johnson, wants to talk about, right, but these are extremists. You're supposed to be a godly person. You're supposed to be a Christian, and you are celebrating the deaths of other people. Since when? Show me one time where Jesus said, celebrate unaliving someone else. Show me that. 20 years they've been around. And this is the hypocrisy that I cannot stand. I cannot stand it, to see people that are talking about how horrible and how Islamists and Muslim extremists are, and jihadists, but no one wants to talk about the very dangerous, the very violent, the very sick, the very extreme Christians that live in this country. They want to talk about Sharia law, but they don't want to talk about Christian law. They don't want to talk about putting Christianity into law. What would they say if they were putting a Quran in every classroom? They would say they're forcing their religion on people, but you want to force Christianity on people over here. You are the thing that you claim to hate. You are the thing that you claim to hate. You just don't recognize it because it's the mote in your own eye. You don't recognize it because it's the mote in your own damn eye. And my thing is, we have to be talking about that all the time. One of the things that we need to push, thanks, Leo. One of the things that we need to push is the removal, the revoking of nonprofit status for churches. If a church has a politician speak from the pulpit from any fucking party, then that church needs to have their nonprofit status revoked. Politicians should not be in pulpits. Every single person needs to be pushing. Did you know that you can file a complaint with the IRS on a nonprofit for violating the statute? Did you know that you can do that? I wonder what would happen. There's about 300 people in here. I wonder what would happen if 300 people went and looked at videos from John Hagee's church and clipped the videos where he talks about Israel or Trump or voting. And I wonder what would happen if people all wrote emails, and then you all linked to those clips, linked to those things. And if you can't link it, what if you just put the date and the time and the minute of when it's starting? I wonder what would happen. Because you can. Let me show y'all. Yes, I've looked this up and I may or may not have ever done this before. There we go. So I'm going to share my screen so y'all can see it. See, I'm full of good information, y'all. I am full of good information. So this is the complaint process. Tax exemption organizations. You use this form. It is a form 13909. And this is the PDF, or you can send the information in letter form and attach any supporting documentation to this complaint letter. And then you can email it here, or you can snail mail it. So in addition to oversight by the IRS, tax exempt organizations are subject to oversight by state charity regulators. So you can then look up your state tax agency and file that complaint with your state tax agency and not just the federal IRS. Yep, I will put this in the link tree for you. And I tell you what I will do. I will make time in the next 2 or 3 days to write an email template. I need one of my mods to remind me that I'm going to do an email template. I'm going to do a letter template on how to write this complaint. And we'll do that. Okay? Wawa, don't make that assumption. Don't make that assumption, because these folks are charity organizers. These are state charity organizations. They are different. And I don't know if I've shared this before, but you can go to GuideStar, or you can go to ProPublica's Nonprofit Explorer, and you can actually pull up the tax returns for these churches. You can pull up the tax returns for nonprofit hospitals. You can put anybody that is a nonprofit, you can go pull up their tax returns. Yeah, and you can actually send it to your local media. 100%. Absolutely, you can do that. You can write a letter to the editor. What do you mean? Oh, repeat that? So repercussions like what? I mean, my guess would be no. My guess would be they might be grateful. Okay, so you can go to guidestar.com and you can create a free profile there. You can also go, to ProPublica. ProPublica has a nonprofit explorer. So it's ProPublica Nonprofit Explorer. You can look up nonprofit churches. You can look up nonprofit hospitals, any of those, and you can pull up their tax returns. I used to do it every year on Ballot Health. 100%. Yeah, but here's the thing. I guess the reason I look at it like I do is because I don't know. I've always had a healthy fear of the government. Right? See you, Ferris. But that's just the truth. So I want to keep moving, but mods, don't let me forget that that's what I need to do. Next, this one is pretty important because what do we say all the time, you guys? Every accusation is an admission, pretty much. And so you all may have heard of a Republican senator in Alaska by the name of George Rosher. So George Rosher is, like I said, he's a Republican senator in Alaska, and his former chief of staff has now been arrested. Yep, Sandy, at 1 for child sexual exploitation and child sex trafficking. He was arrested by federal agents last Friday in Juneau. He lives in Anchorage, and he has been serving. He served as a Republican and Wasilla State Senator George Rosher's chief of staff since November. He was terminated Friday, right after the charges were made public. He was also elected as chair of the Anchorage Young Republicans in January of 2025. And then they became the state committee chair last month. A grand jury indicted him on those charges of sex trafficking a minor, sexual exploitation of a minor, for both allegedly producing and receiving child sexual abuse material and coercion and enticement of a minor. The crimes occurred just last October, according to the indictment. Prosecutors also wrote that the FBI has identified at least 12 potential victims, 12. There is a court documents actually specifically detail one instance for a 15-year-old girl that he lured to his Anchorage home. There are 11 other potential victims, and they are asking for help as their investigation continues. So this is what they say happened in October. Valdez had met, why does this stop sharing with you guys? I don't know why this did that. Hold on. Sorry. All right. So Valdez had met the 15-year-old girl on Snapchat, picked her up at her home, and drove her to his house, quote, for the purpose of sexually exploiting the child to celebrate his birthday, the detention memorandum says. The girl's siblings alerted her mother, who used a family tracking application to track her daughter to Valdez's home in South Anchorage. The mother called Anchorage police after arriving at his home, and she waited outside, where she heard her daughter inside the house say something about wanting to leave. Quote, the girl's mother then entered the residence, struck Valdez once in the face, and recovered the child, who exhibited signs of extreme drug or alcohol intoxication and had difficulty walking and maintaining consciousness, the memo says. Quote, police responded a short time later, at which Valdez puzzlingly chose to flee from his own residence, end quote. While the girl had left her own phone at Valdez's residence, the mother was able to copy messages from a separate linked device showing Valdez had used Snapchat to entice the girl to come to his home for sexual purposes. The girl later told investigators that other children had introduced her to him when she was 13 or 14 years old. Law enforcement officials do not think October was the first time Valdez exploited the girl, nor do they think she was the only victim. The usernames that he went by were no name 20233132 or Do Chank, CHANK. And they are asking for anybody with other information to contact them in Anchorage. Y'all remember there was just, he's a Republican chief of staff for Republican Senator George Rosher in Anchorage, a state legislator in Alaska. So I want you all to remember that South Carolina Republican Mays just got sentenced to prison for the same kind of stuff. We know that Matt Gaetz, the final report on Matt Gaetz came out where they said that there was substantial evidence that he absolutely did have sex with that 17-year-old girl, and that he absolutely did exchange money, that he, like, this is not my opinion. This is from the House Ethics Committee's report that came out in December of 2024. So if you have not read that report, it is in my link tree, right? And I have said emphatically, why in the fuck has he not been brought up on charges? If the House Ethics Committee found out all of those things already, and there was enough evidence, they said there was significant or substantial is the word that they used. So if it was substantial, why in the world has that not been turned over to the authorities, and why haven't there been charges pressed? Because the guy that he did it with is already in jail. Already in jail. Right? So a little bit more for you guys, because yes, that was one that I wanted to make sure that I told you all. This one is astounding because this administration has bragged about how it has done something about the trafficking in this country. And that's one of the reasons why they need all of this money. And they have recovered all of these people that were trafficked. Well, guess what? A woman was actually trafficked into this country, she alleges, and was detained by ICE while the people who trafficked her were let go free. Are you ready? Here is the story. Mother was allegedly trafficked to the U.S. and illegally detained by ICE while accused abuser is free. She was arrested at a routine ICE check-in and separated from the two children aged 18 months and 4. It's a Venezuelan mother of 2 who was allegedly trafficked to the United States and has been unlawfully detained by Immigration and Customs Enforcement and could soon be deported, according to her lawyers. The woman has applications in process for asylum and a visa designed for victims of trafficking. But she was arrested at a routine check-in with the authorities this January and separated from her children. Meanwhile, her alleged trafficker, who, according to a habeas petition filed in court, allegedly lured her to the U.S. after impregnating her and under the false promises of living, quote unquote, together as a family, is free. A crucial hearing in the coming weeks could determine her fate. The woman's lawyers allege that her rights to due process have been violated. They filed a petition of habeas corpus on February 11th and are calling for her immediate release. The woman whose identity the Guardian is withholding for her safety and will refer to her as Flora, a pseudonym, came to the U.S. in 2023 from Colombia, but found that when she arrived at the home of the man who had invited her, she was plunged into a nightmare. The man allegedly, quote unquote, repeatedly raped her, forced her to perform unpaid domestic and commercial labor, subjected her to severe physical violence, threats, isolation, food deprivation, and other forms of abuse, according to the habeas petition filed in court in the Western District of Louisiana. Her lawyers allege that her detention violates her rights of due process because they argue she is not considered a flight risk nor a danger to the community, and she was not given an opportunity to be heard before being deprived of her liberty. So, Carol Pisano, who's a senior staff attorney at the Human Trafficking Legal Center, said her client escaped the home of her alleged trafficker in the Midwest last year after calling the police, and a local nonprofit then helped her relocate to the East Coast. But months later, the alleged trafficker traveled to Maryland and found the church where she had taken refuge. The Guardian has reviewed a restraining order that was granted by Maryland authorities against him and is not naming the alleged perpetrator for reasons related to the woman's security. Pisano alleged that there were, quote unquote, threats of harm to the children in the Midwest, and that the accused man, who's a foreign national, also introduced, quote, an element of debt in their relationship, which is typical in trafficking cases. So there's more, but I'm not going to read the entire article to you. It is quite lengthy. It's quite lengthy, but I wanted to share that with you guys. Yeah, that was yesterday, Making Magic. We talked about it yesterday. So listen, so yesterday, in case you all missed it, the U.S. Treasury Department did say that we are insolvent. We have a shit ton of debt and like only $6 billion in assets. So yeah, it's kind of crazy right now, but that came out yesterday. Yeah. I'm trying to get to everything that I wanted to talk about for you today with you. I think this, just since we're already here and since we're already talking about predators, yep, 6 trillion in assets, 46 trillion in debts. Thank you, Polly Prissy. But let me give you this. Jeffrey Epstein's accountant and his attorney have both said that federal government investigators, listen to this, never interviewed them about the late financier's crimes and their work with him. So in their deposition videos that were released by the House of Representatives Oversight Committee, Richard Kahn, who's the attorney, and Darren Endike, his lawyer, said in hours of closed doors interviews with the committee that they did not witness nor were involved in any wrongdoing related to Epstein, who we already know. Now, let me just tell you this. Both of them were also responsible for controlling his estate. I can tell you that you will see tons of emails and conversations about moving money with Khan in the emails that are posted on the Jmail thing. So it's crazy to me, though, that federal investigators did not interview his actual accountant when there's this massive investigation into his finances that we've just learned about, that also included ICE, that also included Customs and Border Patrol, that also included the DEA. It's crazy to me that they never had a conversation with the attorney. I can understand the lawyer because, to be quite frank, attorney-client privilege, but the accountant, I don't understand. I don't understand why that would be a thing that we would not have done. You know what I mean? Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me. Yeah, I know. It's crazy, but hold on. This one is, I don't know, it'll probably make you angry, but here we go. This is from ProPublica. So that should already tell you that it's going to be significant. So this is a Louisiana prosecutor by the name of Hugo Holland. And throughout his entire career, there's been a lot of controversy. He has had concealing of evidence, submission of false paperwork, and allegations of racism. He is now running to be a judge. This former prosecutor in Louisiana compared a black child to a dog. and he withheld evidence in death row cases. And he's the front runner to be a judge. So in at least 2 death penalty cases, Louisiana judges found that Holland withheld evidence. In a third, he secured the conviction of a Black 16-year-old comparing the boy to a dog and telling the jury to, quote unquote, get rid of it. Prosecutors later admitted that Holland and his team had failed to turn over evidence. Defense attorneys have also accused him of racism, pointing, for example, to a capital murder case several years ago in which Holland emailed one of them to say he was going to spend Veterans Day in his pickup truck looking for, quote, a black guy or a Mexican, end quote, and Holland called it a joke. He is 62 years old and he is now running for judge in the 1st Judicial District Court in Caddo Parish. His campaign appears to have substantial backing. He's raised more than $61,000 in less than 2 months, which is twice the amount of many of the other candidates that are running against him. It's more than twice the amount that they would spend in an entire campaign. So his donors include an assistant district attorney, the district attorney of neighboring Bossier and Webster parishes, a former state judge, and members of major law firms throughout the area. He declined multiple requests for comment about his candidacy and his record as a prosecutor. It's crazy. But yeah. So if you are watching and you are in Louisiana, this may be something that you might want to take up with your state bar association. Okay. So again, this might be something you could take up with your state bar association. Hola, ageless. I'm just saying, folks. Okay. Y'all still doing okay? Tiffany, mad as hell. Tiffany over here on Facebook talking about his mama is a damn dog. Yeah. So Tracy, when we talk about the people that were given immunity in the original Florida Epstein case, there were 3 of them. One of them was a girl that he purchased when she was 15 from another country. The other one is Sarah, what's her name? But yes, there were 3 of them. There were 3 of them. Well, thank you, Wawa. I literally pulled up, I wanted to, what's his name again? Hugo Holland is his name. Hugo Holland. Okay. Appreciate you guys for knocking out the goals. Okay, hold on. I have to close what I've already talked to you all about. That one is done. That is done. That one is done. I had a whole gamut. So the UN chief says that the Middle East war is, quote unquote, out of control, and says Lebanon cannot become, quote unquote, the next Gaza. Quote, the conflict has broken past the limits even leaders thought imaginable. The world is staring down the barrel of a wider war, a rising tide of human suffering, and a deeper global economic shock. This has gone too far. The Gaza model must not be replicated in London. Let me say this. This is indicative of what the fuck is wrong with the world. And I want to say this and be clearly. Listen to what I'm saying. It is offensive. It is utterly offensive and disgusting that they only give a shit because of the economics. I'm going to say that again. It is disgusting. It is revolting. It is so frustrating that they only give a damn because of the economic impact that is happening right now. This is why they didn't interfere in 1948. This is why, because as long as they could get the resources that they need, they did not give a damn what happened to Gaza. They did not give a damn what happens to Palestine or in what's happening in the West Bank. They did not care. As long as they could get their money and their oil, they didn't give a damn. But now that things have escalated to the point that they have, and globally, we are all experiencing the impact. Now, all of a sudden, oh, it cannot go any further. Well, that would have been great if you'd done that 70,000 lives ago in Palestine. That would have been great if you had done that, 20,000 children ago. How come $140 a barrel is too much, but 20,000 children wasn't too much? That's what I want to know. Appreciate you, Sandy. What's up, Abu Binks? This should make you angry. And when I say angry, I am talking about what I call the righteous anger, right? It's offensive to me that the UK now wants to facilitate a conversation about how to open the strait, but nobody was having conversations with Israel when they were literally unaliving children, or when they evaporated 3,000 Palestinians. And I say the word evaporating because that is what the mechanism did. It literally evaporated them. Yeah, nope. Iran rejected the U.S.'s ceasefire offer, and they demand control of the strait. Iran's not fucking around, y'all. And I don't think the people are ready for what we are at. Kuwait's airspace is now closed. Okay, so let me just read this because there appears to be some conflicting information. So various news agencies and Iranian state media have reported that Tehran has responded, quote unquote, negatively to the U.S. proposal to end the war, but there are contradictory statements over whether it has rejected it outright. Reuters news agency, citing a senior Iranian official, reported that Tehran's initial response to the proposal was, quote unquote, not positive, but that it was still reviewing it. That is at odds with a report by the Iranian state-owned Press TV, which quoted a senior political security official saying that Tehran has rejected the proposal while putting forward its own conditions to end the war. Meanwhile, Iran's semi-official Fars news agency, citing a quote-unquote knowledgeable source, reported that Tehran, quote-unquote, will not accept a ceasefire and believes it would not be, quote-unquote, logical to enter talks. The U.S. has shared a 15-point list of expectations with Iran via Pakistan, and Donald Trump is saying Iran wanted a deal so badly to end the war. Several news agencies, including Reuters, the Associated Press, and AFP, have reported Pakistani officials saying the country has delivered the proposal to Iran and was awaiting a response. So far, Iran and Pakistan have not officially made any comments on the proposal, but there are suggestions that it could happen as early as this weekend. Two senior Trump administration officials told CNN that talks are underway for the Vice President, J.D. Vance, to travel to Pakistan or potentially Turkey, but cautioned that the timing of the expected trip is fluid. Here are the things that Iran has said must happen in order for them to agree to a ceasefire or to end the war. They include One, an end to, quote, aggression and assassinations, end quote. Quote unquote, concrete guarantees preventing the reoccurrence of war against Iran. Payment for war damage and reparations. They ain't even gave those to us yet. Shit, Iran. But then again, we don't got the Strait of Hormuz, right? End of the war on Iran and against, quote unquote, all resistance groups across the Middle East, and recognition of Iran's sovereignty over the Strait of Hormuz. Y'all, they are not fucking around. They said earlier today, quote unquote, Iran will end the war when it decides to do so and when its own conditions are met. He added that Tehran considers the U.S. proposal, quote unquote, excessive. So Israel's parliament has advanced a bill that was initiated by their far right, Otzma Yehudit party, which is led by Ben Gavir, fuck him, and the horse he rode in on. But it would make that it would impose the death penalty on Palestinians that were convicted of terrorism. Members of that party have worn noose-shaped pins in support of the bill. Under the proposals, those sentenced to death would be in a separate facility with no visits except from authorized personnel, with legal consultations conducted only by video link. Executions would be carried out within 90 days of sentencing. The measure would allow courts to impose the death penalty without a request from prosecutors and without requiring unanimity. In other words, they don't all have to agree. And so it would just be by simple majority decision. Military courts in the illegally occupied West Bank would also be empowered to hand down these death sentences, with the defense minister able to submit an opinion. For Palestinians under occupation, the bill would close off avenues for appeal or clemency, while prisoners tried inside Israel could see their sentences commuted to life imprisonment. So it's going to a final vote. I'm going to say this again and emphatically, I'm just going to say this. The state of Israel, the government of Israel, does not represent any God. Nothing about this represents God. Nothing. Nothing, 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 nothing. You will not ever be able to tell me that the state or the government of Israel's actions are dictated by God. You will never convince me that the people making these decisions are special to God, are chosen by God. I ain't buying it. No, no, and fucking no. Good morning, Janice. Good to see you. So I'm just going to be real clear about that. It's a hard no. It's a hard pass. And it has nothing to do with their religion. It has to do with the government of Israel. And I'm going to keep saying that. I'm making sure. Fuck. Here's the other one. Sorry, y'all. Here's another one that I had for you today. And I know it's a lot of heavy stuff today, but that's not my fault. It's their fault for doing this much fuck shit. It's not my fault. It's theirs. Where did I read that from? ProPublica. ProPublica. Okay, Scotty, I got you. This is also from ProPublica. If you all don't get it by now, I love ProPublica. They are a very reliable, solid source of information. I also like The Guardian. I also like Al Jazeera. I also like DropSite. I also like Zateo. I also like those are the main ones for me. So here's the headline. You ready for it? You're not ready for it. But here we go. The Trump administration has detained the parents of more than 11,000 U.S. citizen kids. I'm going to say that again. The Trump administration has detained the parents of more than 11,000 United States citizen children. So those children were born here in the United States, but their parents have been detained. Now, if you remember, what's his name, Tom? I'd be wanting to call him something else. What's his name? Tom Homan? Ain't that his name? He said, well, that's fine. We'll just separate them. He said that, if you all remember. So one of the things that ProPublica did is they did an analysis of all of this information, right? And an exclusive data analysis found that the Trump administration has deported moms of U.S. citizens at 4 times the rate of his predecessor. Because American-born kids cannot legally join their parents in immigration detention, some end up with friends or strangers when their parents are detained or deported. The Trump administration officials have revised a document advising how ICE officers should interact with parents, removing the word humane. They removed the word humane. I'm not going to read this story. I'm going to put it in my link tree for you to read. It's literally a baby that is still young enough to need vaccinations that's being fed with like a 4-ounce bottle. We're talking baby. She breastfed and used a bottle. She's 4 months old, the baby. 4 months old. So they have a document here with the data, and I'm going to show you what the data looks like, okay? Really quickly. So this is under the Biden administration, and this is under the Trump administration, with parents of US-born children arrested monthly. Yeah, folks, let me also remind you that if you have not already signed up to attend the meeting tomorrow for Project for the People, you need to go into, yeah, that's the total just till August. You need to go into my link tree and do that today because I need to send out emails so that you all have the link. Sounds good, A Mooney. Hey, Money, I know it's late. I know it's late there, but I have a hard stop today at 6. It will be, but I think I'm only going to send it out via link, right? So there's another graph. Under Biden, 351 mothers were arrested. 264 of them were detained, which is 75%. So, so hold on. Yeah. So of the 351 mothers that were arrested under Biden, 202 were released, 58%. 11% remained in custody, which is 39 of them, and 110 of them were actually removed. Under the Trump administration, it has been 866 mothers. 207 of them have been released, which is 24%. 70%, 143 remain in custody, and 516 of them have been removed. Yeah, I saw that last night, Nene. I shared it last night about Delta. So listen, here's what I need to do because I have a hard stop today because I have, sounds great, Tiffany. So listen, what I have to do today because I have a hard stop at 1. And then, listen, I have a hard stop at 1. And then at 2:30, I have to talk to a member of the national press because I am connecting them with Sunny. So I got to set that up for our girl so that they can do this story on her husband. So after that, I can come back and go live again, specifically for a Pally panel. Okay. But I need to do my appointment at 1:00. And then I need to do the appointment with the press. Okay. For Sunny, and then I can come back. Okay. So if you have the ability to charge up some coins, please do that. And so I can come back and then do a Pally panel. Okay. So let me see. It's 12:30 now. Yeah, Sophia. So probably in 3 hours. That was good math, girl. Okay. Yep. So in 3 hours. If you want to type it in Arabic real quick, and then we can pin it for people just so people know. That would be perfect. Yeah, no, Janice, that's a real thing. That is a real thing. Democracy Now! Has covered it, and we can also talk about it. But yes, there is an issue with girls coming up pregnant in ICE detention centers, young girls. What up, A Mooney?
Hi, Dani. It's been a long time. I wanted to come up to say hi, Dani.
Yeah, girl, because you ain't been, I don't know where the fuck you been.
Girl, the Ramadan, took us the F out during that month.
Yes, I do know that.
I'll come out in the nighttime. So,
yeah, I got that. No worries. Right, Cam, that's what I said. Where you been?
And also my main account was from Banana.
Really? Damn.
Yeah, this is my backup. Girl, this is my 4th account. Like they Perma Banana all my other 3 ones.
Damn.
I've been trying to get it back though. I'm trying to get it back, but we'll see.
That's wild. Yeah, so we've been talking, everybody's following. You guys make sure that you follow A Mooney on this account. Apparently I already do, so I must be following all your backups.
Because I came into my backup one time with this account.
Yeah.
I don't know what the conversation you were talking about, but all I know is America ain't shit, to be honest. Sorry. Sorry.
Girl, you need to warn me.
Sorry.
I mean, I agree, but damn, I wasn't expecting that.
No, but like after everything that they've been doing, and like it sucks. It sucks. And like I was talking to someone the other day, they were like, it's expected to have our gas prices go up. You know, that's the price of WAR, and it was like, shut up.
No,
like,
and it ain't good. But listen, it's not just gonna be our gas prices. Just so everybody understands,
everything. It's everything.
Your food, your clothes, the farmers are gonna need a bailout because the yield is gonna be down because of the cost of fertilizer. Mm-hmm. People really do not understand what is already coming as a result of this. And honestly, I blame the media. I really do, because that is all the media is talking about is fucking gas.
And they're biased.
Yes.
The media is hella biased. They're only talking about gas. I think it's because too, like, because the gas prices are going up, the products have to go up due to the prices of the gas.
Yeah, well,
that's why.
Yeah, but it's also the stuff that comes through the strait, right?
Yes.
When you talk about what comes through the strait is the stuff for plastics, the stuff for your clothing, yes, the fertilizer for your food, all of those things. Why do we have to bail out farmers? Because they were already devastated because of the tariffs. Now, because of this war, you think about the fuel for your farm equipment. You think about the cost of fertilizer going through the roof, which means those farmers are going to have lower yield for their crops this year. All of that is going to take a toll on those farmers. It's the tariffs, the fuel, the daggone yield because of the fertilizer. It is no joke. If you all do not follow Mr. Global, please follow Mr. Global. He talks about this all day long. And if you live in Georgia and Alabama, you need to go watch one of his latest videos, because Georgia Power and Alabama Power just fucked y'all over huge. So one second, Amani. So they had applied for the hugest, largest loan from the federal government for an electric company ever. And then while they were waiting on the Trump administration to grant that or deny that, they made a promise. They made this announcement to consumers that, get this, they won't raise their prices through 2028. So in other words, they're going to keep their electricity bills low until after the presidential election. And then once they promised to do that, they were granted the damn loans. So literally for the next 25, 30 years, Georgia and Alabama folks, you are going to be paying the interest on the largest loans ever given to power companies. So go watch the video Mr. Global did, because you'll be good and pissed.
Not to mention, I don't know if you talked about this as well or not, but Trump making his statements in Truth Social, and people betting money into the stock market and stuff, and they're about to make $580 million off of this WAR, if not more than that, to be honest. And also, Trump's total net worth was about 1.3 billion or 4 billion. I forgot the exact number. And now, after this WAR, he's worth about 4 to 5 billion. More than that.
Yeah. So listen, let me just tell you.
My check was 5 billion. Now it's 8.
I think. Just don't quote me. It's whatever it is fucking ridiculous. But let me just say this. The other thing though is I forget who it was that talked about it. But they have made the accusation, which is accurate, that it is treason. And y'all, people in DC don't throw that word around much, but they are throwing it around specifically around insider trading because of this war. And so that is going to be something to watch and see, because it would not surprise me to see people get thrown on the bus. If you haven't noticed, in the last 2 days, Trump been throwing everybody under the bus. He told Pete Hegseth that Pete was the first one to say, let's go to war. Then he blamed it on Marco Rubio and said that it was Pete, Marco Rubio, and somebody else's ass. He said he has now said it's everybody's idea but his.
Girl, the other day he called Schumer a bad Palestinian.
Yes. He is blaming everybody but himself. You should have seen. So listen, they was at a press conference. They was at a thing, A-Money, and Trump was sitting here and Pete was sitting beside him. And when Trump was talking, he says, yeah, I think it was you that said, yeah, let's go. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's go ahead and go into Iran. I think it was you. And Pete Hegseth's face was like,
excuse me?
And then you can see his head. See you later, Jimmy. You can see his brain going, this motherfucker just threw me under the bus. You can see him realize exactly what just happened.
I think they're all split, to be honest. I think like even his people didn't want this. Right? No. And I think they're split. Like one of them just quit the other day, by the way.
Yeah, he was the Joe Kent. He was the director of counterintelligence. Yeah.
He's like, I'm out.
And then took his ass on Tucker Carlson. Hella, Raja. Yeah. Listen, they gonna be all about it. But Emily, if you can let them know that I will be back in 3 hours for a Pally panel.
Okay. السلام عليكم أهل غزة. داني بدها تفتح كمان 3 ساعات وراح ترفعكم كمان 3 ساعات. So حضروا حالكم. I said حضروا حالكم. I said, yeah, so be prepared. I said pull up in 3 hours. Be prepared. Yes, pull up in 3 hours because that's what we're going to do. You probably already mentioned it as well, the whole situation that happened in LaGuardia.
Raja's brother has come out of, so Raja's brother had a huge kidney stone. And so we had worked to make sure that he had the finances to be able to pay for the surgery. And so he's come out of surgery and he's doing well.
That's amazing.
Yay. We love that.
We say salamtek or salamtek for girl.
Salamtek. You know? Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. Guys, we have money for ICE, but we don't have money for TSA.
Well, listen. You know what? Somebody over on Facebook said today when we was talking about them deploying our soldiers and all of this. And I said, Lindsey Graham's ass talking like it ain't nothing. Let Lindsey take his ass to the front lines or send his sons or grandsons. And somebody on my Facebook said, send ICE. Since they want to be military, send their ass to Iran. Go ahead.
Yeah, I thought when he said he was going to send out the ICE agents, I thought he meant to Iran, but he meant to the airport.
To stand around and do nothing because they don't have the knowledge or the certifications to do what ICE is, to do what TSA does.
No, and they're not paying TSA. And then look what happened the situation in LaGuardia.
Yeah.
With the airplane and the truck. And you hear the guy, he's like, I messed up. He didn't mess up. He was telling the fire truck to stop. I don't know if they were here.
Well, first he told them to go. And then he backed up and said, stop. Yeah.
But he had a lot of ample time to stop. And I don't think he either heard him or didn't see that plane coming. Maybe it was a big truck.
I have no idea. I don't know.
I know that guy was doing the job of 3 workers, and he should have had to, since Trump is, not essentially paying these TSA workers. Like,
right.
But we got all this money to pay ICE, and they ain't doing shit. Like,
yeah. Well, and then I will tell you the one thing that I said today that should let everybody know that Iran is not playing. I said, y'all, Iran had only 2 words for the American soldiers that are being deployed. They said, come closer.
And also, I don't know if you saw this, what this spokesperson said. He said, it ain't going to be an eye for an eye. It's going to be an eye for a head, a hand, a foot. Did you see that one?
No, I haven't seen that one.
I got to pull it up for you. He said, this is not going to be an eye for an eye anymore. This is going to be an eye for a hand, a foot, a head. Doesn't matter what it is. It's not going to be an eye for an eye, though.
Damn. Well, I saw
no games.
No, and I saw where when he stood up, he said, has it gotten so far? He said, don't make your failure a success. And he said, are you negotiating with yourself? He said, because we're not negotiating. He said, you are negotiating with yourself. And it's really crazy that literally what they said for the American soldiers was, come closer. Y'all, there ain't nothing good about that, y'all. Nothing good about that.
You know what it is, Dani? America and Israel, like, they've been coming after Iran for over 20 years, essentially, and trying to tell everybody that they have an NUKE. They have an NUKE. But other countries have one, and they're not attacking.
Israel got a bunch of them.
So make that make sense, 1. 2, did they honestly think that Iran, the new Lego video? Yeah, that shit was so funny. Did they honestly think that Iran was just sitting on the sidelines while they kept getting accused of something? Hell no. They've been putting in that work for the last 20 years. And Iran and America thought that, Israel and America thought that Iran was going to back down.
No.
They prepared.
They are.
They're probably more prepared than y'all are.
No, I know they are more prepared than we are. I know they are, because Doge cut the fuck out of us. So I don't know if you know this or not. I covered it this week and last week, but Doge gutted 90%, 1,300 people from the Department of Energy Resources. These are veteran career people that have the relationships with the people in the Middle East that are in those oil and gas companies. And they got rid of 1,300 of them. They are fucked. They don't have the relationships to negotiate and to talk and to, check the temperature in those countries. Doge got rid of 1,300 of them. Yeah. We wasn't ready. So, and now there's a lot of talk about some of our military identifying as conscientious objectors because they don't want to go. They don't believe it's what they should be doing.
So he goes, America will be paralyzed. Iran issues an eye for a head to Trump if U.S. hits the infrastructure. I'm going to pull up the exact quote. He said, his name said that if Trump attacks Iran's infrastructure, it will no longer be an eye for an eye, but an eye for a head, a hand, and a foot. And it was a warning. America will be paralyzed.
Yeah, they're not fucking around. Yes, Denise.
They're not fucking around.
So let me be clear. Okay, Raja. So Denise, just so you know, so here's what's happening. All he is doing is he has given a proposal to Pakistan. Pakistan gave the proposal to Iran. Iran said, fuck no, none of that works for us. Here's our proposal for you. And this will not end until we are ready for it to end. Yeah, Trump's a liar. He is trying to figure out how he can get out of this because there's no one to save him. There's no one to help bring this down. There's no one to clean up the mess that he made listening to BB. Nobody. And so
have you seen BB?
Ain't nobody seen BB.
Where's BB? Where's Waldo? Where's BB?
Ain't nobody. Listen, did you see my face? Ain't nobody been BB.
Where's BB?
Nene, I already talked about that. Literally, girl, I already talked about it twice. And I read everything they said. You better pay attention, Nene. So, Black Queen, nobody is saying whether or not there's speculation that BB is no longer being.
There's two options. One, he's probably injured and in hiding, and they don't want to let us know because that'll definitely affect Israel more than they're letting us know. Or two, he's probably in hiding because they don't want Iran to come after him because that's what their goal is to essentially.
Or three, he doesn't hear.
Or he is unalive, and they definitely 100% don't want any of us to know that because that would definitely be a big problem for them in Israel. So
100%.
Those are the three options that we got right now. And we're going to hope for the third option, to be honest.
Listen, I said the other day, I am struggling because I have said that I don't want to be someone that ever celebrates the pain or the unaliving of someone else. And I am having to check myself because when I hear that they got hit or whatever, I have to check myself because my instinct is to celebrate.
This is a special case though, only because the horrible genocidal comments these people have been making on people's kids, children, mothers, fathers, grandfathers.
I know.
They have had free reign for not just the last 3 years, by the way.
No, 80.
For the whole time since they came onto the Palestinian land. And they've been allowed to essentially say this type of stuff. But the minute someone else says the same thing that they say, oh, we got to unalive them, right?
Girl, you should have been in here yesterday because my whole background was I'm tired of the hypocrisy. And I was all over the Islamophobia compared to Christian extremists and walking it all the way down. But okay.
100%.
Yeah. I got 15 minutes to get ready for my appointment. So I'm going to do that. I will be back in a little less than 3 hours. Love y'all, mean it. Hey, Mooney, it was good to see you guys.
Good to see you too.
And I'll see you on a little bit.
Back in 3 hours too.
Cool. I will see you then.